I found this article in the New York Times absolutely fascinating. Tatiana Schlossberg writing in the New York regional part of the New York Times. And what she was pointing out, it's a story about the wine dealer, a guy by the name of Rudy Kurniawan, 37. He's an American who, actually, I guess he's not an American citizen. He was originally from, off in the Far East, I think Malaysia. But in any case, he sold $28 million worth of wine last year. Oh no, he was forced to pay more than $28 million in restitution to his victims. Excuse me. He's a native of Indonesia, and he's been living illegal in the United States. They just sentenced him to 10 years because he sold what he said was old wine, but in fact was faked, to one of the Koch brothers, William Koch, the kind of playboy of the family, who's a wine aficionado and whatnot. Not Charles and David, the politically active ones. Although Bill Koch is somewhat politically active, much more low profile. But what I thought was interesting, the federal prosecutor, Stanley Okula Jr., said, fraud is fraud. There's no distinction in the guidelines or in logic for treating it differently. And he sent this guy to 10 years in jail for defrauding one of the Koch brothers and a few others. What about Bank of America? I mean, Bank of America is paying the U.S. Treasury $9 billion to compensate or as a penalty or something. I'm not even sure what the rationale is. Maybe the DOJ gets to use that money to prosecute further, future banksters or something. I just don't know. But if we have federal prosecutors saying fraud is fraud, and if you defraud one of the Koch brothers by selling him a bad bottle of wine, you go to jail for 10 years. But if you defraud homeowners by selling them exploding mortgages or by foreclosing on them illegally with forged documents, and you defraud investors and pension funds and state governments by selling them what you know are toxic assets, why don't these guys go to jail? Why are these banksters not, well, they're too big to jail. They're too big. Yeah, right. You know what this guy's crime was, Rudy Kurniawan? His crime was not being a billionaire himself. His crime was being one of the little people who supplies things to billionaires. Had he been a billionaire, there's no doubt in my mind that this guy would not be going to jail. Because we have two criminal justice systems in this country, one for the rich and powerful and one for everybody else. And he was the part of the everybody else. So here we are. Defraud one of the Koch brothers, 10 years in prison. And then you get deported. Defraud Americans? Not